Hello everyone, welcome to the video number 6 of Basics of Software Testing. I am Murli Prasad. I am running a website called softwaretestingonline.com. In that website you can find software testing materials. In this video I am going to cover static techniques. Static techniques or static testing. The main objective is to improve the quality of software work products as early in the software development process. Usually static testing has been done by the development team. Compared to dynamic testing, in the static testing, we do not execute a piece of code using any tool. Since static testing can happen as early in the life cycle, quality of the software can be established very early, and by detecting defects at an early stage, rework cost is also getting reduced. Since rework effort is getting reduced, development productivity is also getting increased. Usually in the development team, if there was no static testing, then there will not be much exchange of information between the team. Static tests contribute to an increased awareness of quality issues as early in the software development lifecycle. Static techniques review process. Reviews represents the first form of testing that can take place during software development lifecycle. The main objective of performing reviews are 1. Finding defects, 2. Gaining understanding, 3. Generating discussions, 4th. Decision making by consensus. There are different types of review: informal review, walkthrough, technical review, inspection. We will see one by one. Informal review are the most common type of review that happens in the software development testing. Suppose there are two people who are developing a code based on a requirement. They both will share the document and code to each other, and they will get it self-reviewed. The defects that were reported are not documented. Next is a walkthrough. Walkthroughs are usually led by an author. A generic example of a walkthrough is a system engineer conducting a walkthrough meeting to a stakeholders, where the engineer would explain about the technical content of the document to all stakeholders. Uh, the advantage of performing walkthrough meeting is that if there are any defects that was found in the document, then he has opportunity to know the defects very early during the walkthrough, and before releasing it to the stakeholders, he can fix those defects. Uh, so the practice of testing specification documents by reviewing them early on in the life cycle helps to identify defects before they become part of executable code. In the first video, we have seen how the defects are becoming cheaper when the defect was reported very early in the software development lifecycle. I have shown you an example of cost of defects. So again, the static testing and the walkthrough meetings and technical review, all those informal reviews are helping us to identify defects very early in the software development lifecycle. Next is technical review. Technical review, I can give you an example of a brainstorming session where the technical specialists join together and talk about the content of a document or a general content of a problem scenarios. Usually it is not led by any moderator. So at the conclusion, they will have some brainstorming points which they will take into an action. Next is inspection. Inspection are the most formal type of review. The document under inspection is prepared and checked thoroughly by the reviewers before the meeting. In the inspection, there are some certain set of rules the team has to follow, and there will be a checklist the team has to go through. There are different phases this inspection happens in the software development lifecycle. There are different phases for the formal review. In contrast to the informal review, the typical formal review process consists of 6 main steps. First is planning. In this stage, a request is review is made by an author to moderator. I will explain about author and moderator in the next coming slides. What I mean is the roles and responsibilities of an author and moderator. Next is a kickoff. In this stage, a brief introduction about the goal and objective of the review meeting or a document is given to everyone at the meeting. Third is preparation. In this stage, the reviewer, also known as inspector, reviews the documents individually based on the documents, checklists, and rules and procedures provided. While reviewing the document, each reviewer identifies defects, questions, and comments according to the understanding of the document. Next is review meeting. There are different phases the review meeting happens. One is logging phase, and another is discussion phase and decision phase. In the logging phase, all the defects that were identified are logged and the severity has been understood. In the discussion phase, the defects are all discussed with all the stakeholders. Here, the stakeholders means the people who are related to that particular defects. Usually, it is joined by a scribe or an author and a software team, design champion, developer, a moderator, systems engineer. In the decision phase, um, by knowing the list of defects that we need to work on and the severity, in the decision phase, uh, a software iteration has been planned. Like it will tell when a particular defect will be implemented on the software. Next is a rework. In this stage, if the number of defects found in each page exceeds a certain level, then the document has to be reworked. Follow up. It is an action given by the moderator to author. So these are the different roles and responsibilities that are present inside the team. A moderator, a moderator is sometimes also known as a review leader. This is a person who leads the review of the document or set of documents, including planning of the review, running the meeting, and follow-ups after the meeting. If necessary, the moderator may mediate between the various points of views and is often the person on whom the success of the review rests. The moderator will also make the final decision as to whether to release an updated document or updated software. Author Author is a writer or a person with chief responsibility for the development of documents. Just to give you an example, a developer who developed the code can be an author. Scribe is a person who records the minutes of meeting that happens during the review meeting. Usually it will be an author. Reviewer, these are individuals with specific technical or business background. They are also called as checkers. Their main duty is to review the document as per specifications and the reference documents they have. They will um, find the findings and they will log it as a defects. Reviewers should be chosen to represent different perspectives and roles in the review process and take part in any review meeting. Manager, the manager decides on what is to do be reviewed. Generally, he allocates time for the review to happen. Static techniques, static analysis by tool. Static analysis is an examination of requirements, design, and code that differs from more traditional dynamic testing in a number of important ways. Static analysis is performed on requirements, design, or code without actually executing the software artifacts being examined. This is the point which I told you in the first slide. Static analysis is unrelated to dynamic properties of the requirement, design, and code, such as test coverage. What it actually means is that in the static analysis, a code or document, anything is not executed through any tool. If we are executing a code or a document to any tool, there we actually find the functionality issues or non-functionality issues. So here we are not looking into all those kind of issues. The goal of static analysis is to find defects, whether or not they may cause failures. As with reviews, static analysis finds defects rather than failures. I would like to add more points to this particular slide. There are different types of reviews we can find as part of review. One, deviations from standards, either internally defined or unmanaged or legally defined, requirement defects, design defects, insufficient maintainability. Example, the code is too complex to maintain. Incorrect interface specification. For example, the interface specification does not match the design or the receiving or sending interface. Static analysis by tool. Features of static analysis tools. Generally, when you use a tool for static analysis, it will list out some of the um, points like this, like coding standards, code metrics, code structures. Coding standard, for example, if you are developing a code using a C programming language or C++ programming language, then there is a standard the developer has to adhere. So any code, if you're using a static analysis tool, then the code will be compared against MISRA standards. For example, in case of C programming language, it is MISRA standards. So the coding standards will tell you the naming conventions, programming rules, and readability. Um, so those issues has to be fixed. Code metrics, complexity metrics identify high risk complex areas. I have explained about code metrics in detail in this softwaretestingonline.com STG Advanced CC. If you click on this link, you can find the different code metrics that are used in the software testing. I have explained with examples the code structure, control flow structure, data structure. All these are explained in softwaretestingonline.com STG-advanced. You please go to the site and you can learn more about this. Since it is already explained in my website, I'm not reiterating the same again. Finally, a summary report. So here, what does static analysis does? Early detection of defects prior to test execution. Early warning about suspicious aspect of code, design or requirements. Identification of defects not easily found in dynamic testing. Improved maintainability of code and design since engineers work according to the documented standards and rules. Prevention of defects provided that engineers are willing to learn from the errors and continuous improvement is practiced. Um, static static analysis, data flow analysis, control flow analysis. All these three are explained in website softwaretestingonline.com/advanced sections. Now I have explained about all these four items: informal reviews, walkthrough, technical review, and inspection. That's all I have for this video. If you have any questions, you can post your comment and questions in the comment section. I will meet you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.